Hello everybody, welcome to part 4 of Giant Peony Flower tutorial. So in this part, we'll be cutting the grip papers we had into petal shapes. Okay, just a heads up before cutting the petals. So just take a bunch, at least 3 to 5 pieces perhaps. So the scissor will be able to cut through it because you'll need to fold this petal so it will become very thick. Right, so I hope you keep that in mind. And then before cutting through the crepe papers we have, let's divide this into about like 3 parts. So just roughly estimate it. There's no really need to count. So for this, I just eyeball it. Like the first part is almost similar with each parts. So divide it into 3 parts. Okay, now that we have 3 parts, let's start um, cutting first the first part, first group. Let's just say it's the first group. So as I've mentioned earlier, just pick at least 3 to 5 petals or what you think is enough to be able to be cut by your scissor. So first type of petal, it's like just a heart shape. So as you can see here, it looks like that. It has like a heart shape at the top. The edge of the lower part, I mean the bottom part, needs to be just a little bit of slant, but not too much. Maybe this is like more than half of the middle part. So as you can see, like that. And then I usually start from the bottom because that's what I think is easier for me. I tried starting cutting at the top, but I had a hard time doing it. So just feel free to cut however you like. It depends on your level of comfort or comfortability. So for this group, we will cut all these crepe papers into this kind of petal. So we have 3 groups, right? So the first group, it will all be like this, heart shape. So this is a repetitive process as well until you finished all the heart shape petals for this group. And by the way, you might hear some noises in my background. So my husband is watching anime, so there might be some noises. So anyway, I hope you don't mind. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm just cutting through all the crepe paper for this group into heart shape. I'll just fast forward this one because this is also a repetitive process. Let's just say for this group, all you have to do is just cut it into a heart shape petal. Okay, once done cutting the first group, let's go to the second and third group. So We will now start cutting the second type of petal for this group. For the second type of petals, we will use the same process. Pick a bunch and then cut it from the bottom to the top, and then the type of petal is just like a curve curve shape type in the top part. It's no longer heart shapes, as you can see. It's no longer heart shaped at the top part. So this one is like pretty easy to cut. I mean, the shape is just curved in the top part. So it's also a repetitive process for all the crepe papers in the second and third group. You will do the same for each and all the crepe papers. So once again, I'll just fast forward this part because this is a repetitive process. Just fold and then cut from the bottom to the top, then cut it into a curved one until the crepe papers on this group is done cutting. Okay, we're almost done cutting the petals. So this really takes a long time. I mean, this is really time consuming, and that's from my experience. I don't have any assistant while doing this. So if you have any assistant while doing this, I will cut the time of doing this by a half. So would be nice if you have an assistant really. Okay, so once we're done cutting this group, so I'll just quickly show the types of petals that we cut earlier. So the second type is this one, the curved one, and then the first one is the heart-shaped one. So please take note of these two types of petals. So you can also experiment what shape of petal you want. So it's not really restricted to this. And feel free to use your imagination. All right. The next part is we will now shape the petals into like the actual petals that we're going to stick into the base. So for that, let's start with this petal. It doesn't matter what type of petal you start uh, doing this, but for me, I just have this one. It's near to me. So regardless of the type of petal, you can start with whatever kind of petal you. So just do this one. Just roll the top part. So this doesn't make sense right now, but it will make sense later. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a bunch of the petals. So like the group of petals when you cut it into shape. So just get that bunch and then roll the top part. There's no definite um, direction on where to roll. For me, I just roll it uh, clockwise. So sometimes I do it counterclockwise. So it really depends on your preference. But for me, I just do whatever I like. I mean, what direction I want it to roll. So do this for all the petals that you've cut earlier for all the groups. So there were three groups. So do it for everything of those petals. And once again, this is a repetitive process. So I'll just fast forward this part. Just remember that you need to do this for all the petals that you've cut. Okay, so as much as I wanted to retain the background because the sound of the crepe paper and the other stuffs when doing this is really satisfying, but unfortunately we were very loud in the background talking with my husband on an anime, so I just decided to remove the background. So anyway, I hope you just look at the video and understand what I'm doing. So right now we're just finishing up the other group, rolling the top part of the crepe paper. Okay, once done doing this part, let's open up the rolled part of the crepe paper. So just open it and then stretch it around the middle part. Don't stretch the bottom part and the very top part, maybe just around the middle. So as you can see, I'm just opening it up and then stretching the middle part. Don't stretch too much. It might look different, but just stretch a bit. You, I mean, when you're doing it, most of the times you you can estimate it already if it's too much or not enough. So just try to practice and practice. Okay, just like that. Just gently stretch the middle part. So do this for all these rolled grip papers. Okay. It's also a repetitive process, but I'll try not to fast forward it. Okay, as you noticed, when we're pulling it now, this looks more like of a petal than before. So for me personally, rolling and opening this petal really makes a difference on what it will look like. So just be patient and do this for everything that you have in your table right now. Once we're done opening all the petals, we can move to the next